Man, I don't think I could think of a more infuriating way to lose a baseball game than the Rangers did last night.
You are Locked On Rangers, your daily Texas Rangers podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are locked onto the Texas Rangers, the first and best daily Rangers podcast. I'm Bryce Patrick, a cripplingly addicted Texas Rangers fan, covering this team for 12 seasons, including all 7 as the founder and host of this podcast. Thank you all so much for making Locked On Rangers your first listen every single day. If you're not already, you can follow me on Twitter at Bryce Patrick. You can follow the show at Locked On Rangers. Hit subscribe on your favorite podcasting platform and on YouTube, where the best way you can help grow the show is to comment nearly any single thing below. Now, on today's show, we are talking about the absolutely abysmal loss last night. Inexcusable defensive lapses everywhere from the Texas Rangers. And of course, why not? Another player on the IL. Ugh, what an infuriating loss last night was. 3-4, a walk-off loss, and with the help of all 4 runs scoring, basically on just inexcusable defensive lapses. One of just basically 2 plays that kind of changed the entire nature of this game. The first 2 runs for the A's scoring because Wyatt Langford lost a ball in the lights. Now, granted, they are not major league caliber lights because this is a minor league ballpark, because John Fisher is an absolute joke of an owner, a blight on the sport, a blight on the country. And he can't afford to stay in what was already not a major league park and somehow a step even further down into West Sacramento, the Yolo County Bees, because actually, no, the Bees are in Oakland. They're the Fs, the West Sacramento Fs. I think like that's what I should start calling them, because what the F was that stadium? What the F was that play? Oh my goodness. Just inexcusable by Langford to lose in the lights. I don't care if it's minor league lights. Figure it out. Figure it out, my man. 2-run score on that, not immediately, what is a double with an expected batting average of 0. Let me say that again. Expected batting average of 0. Balls hit like that have never, ever not been caught in the StatCast era. A ball hit that high, that poorly, that routine of a flyout has never, ever, ever been a hit before Major League Baseball. Congratulations. We did it. We did it. Something new. Baseball history. You watch 162 games, you'll see something new every single day. That was definitely something new, but unfortunately what was not new was the way that the tying run scored in the bottom of the 9th inning. A Leody Taveras defensive misplay. Just inexcusable. Absolutely inexcusable misplay by Leody Taveras. Granted, it was not a great pitch. Granted, it was a hit, and probably with how Luke Jackson was pitching in that 9th inning, it would have gotten through anyway. But maybe it wouldn't have. A routine single hit to Leody Taveras that he just could not pick up the freaking baseball. He couldn't pick it up. And so what was going to be a runner on first and second ends up being a run-scoring double somehow, because Leody Taveras can't pick up a baseball. I'm done. I'm done defending Leody Taveras. I know he had his first home run of the season last night, but these defensive lapses are just inexcusable. Leody Taveras is here to play good defense, to be a good base runner, and to occasionally get hot in the 9 spot in this lineup. But he has been awful in every aspect this year outside of his base running. And he's not getting on base enough to be an impact as a base runner. When Leody Taveras is great defensively, he is very, very great. But that is so wildly inconsistent this year. Plays like this, routine plays that he just keeps messing up and up and up and up. I don't care. He can't hit lefties. He can't hit righties. He can't play defense. What is he here for? At this point, I would much rather have anybody else on this roster in center field. Yes, I'd rather have Kyle Higashioka out there in center field. Heck, I might rather have Mike Napoli out there in the outfield. Not the Mike Napoli that occasionally played the outfield horrifically for the Rangers in his tenure. I'm talking about current day, 45-year-old Mike Napoli. I think I might rather have that out there in center field than Leody Taveras. What is Dustin Harris here for if he is just going to ride the pine? I thought that he was going to be playing every single day. Why is Wyatt Langford not playing center field? But hey, Wyatt Langford is not the the golden boy defensively, that he's not free from scoring. His error was even more egregious than Leody Taveras', even though it wasn't ruled an error because he didn't touch the baseball, and you have to touch the baseball for it to be ruled an error. But still, that goes for 2 earned runs on Jacob deGrom's night, who this was not Jacob deGrom's fault. No, this was absolutely not Jacob deGrom's fault, but the Rangers keep wasting Jacob deGrom starts. The one thing you can't do, especially against a division rival, you cannot waste a Jacob deGrom start. The Rangers have only won 1 of deGrom's starts so far this year, just the first one, and that was not because Jacob deGrom was awesome. That was just because they won it, because the offense picked him up. And in 5 starts, they are 1-4 in Jacob deGrom starts, and that cannot happen, especially when he looked as good as he did last night. That looked like peak Jacob deGrom. That looked like the guy who won multiple Cy Youngs. It looked like a guy who was just untouchable. I mean, 39 sliders, 34 seam fastballs, and they were not doing much of anything with them. Now, not getting nearly as much swing and miss on the 4-seam fastball, but he was getting plenty of called strikes. 17 called strikes, 12 whiffs in 83 pitches. Last night, I thought he maybe could have gone for a few more pitches. Got a little bit of unhelp from the replay review that took away what should have been another base runner erased on a double play. But alas, that was not how it went for Jake deGrom. Howie Milner steps up there and gets a couple of key strikeouts. Chris Martin does his job in the back end of the bullpen. Robert Garcia does his job in the back end of the bullpen. And Luke Jackson does not. This defense does not. This offense does not either. With Corey Seager on the sideline, I guess everyone just decided, hey, we can only hit for about an inning per game. The Rangers were 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position. Multiple times with the bases loaded, the Rangers got 0 runs from those 2 plate appearances with the bases loaded. All the offense came from 3 home runs in the span of 4 batters. That's it. The only runs all day. And granted, I think 2 of those home runs would not have been home runs in any other park outside of West Sacramento. I know what the expected home runs say, but watching the wind carry those 2 baseballs and watching the expected batting average on balls hit like that, normally they don't go that far, but this is a minor league ballpark because this is a minor league operation, and the Rangers lost 2 out of 3 to a minor league team, a minor league financing, minor league stadium, pretty much everything outside of this lineup. This is a good major league caliber lineup, but still, the Rangers losing 2 out of 3 in this way, an offense that is so desperately in need of any kind of a kickstart, and thought they had it, gave one of this series. I thought that was it. But no, things are not going well for this Rangers team. They are tied still for the AL West lead, but they are losing that tiebreaker because they were swept in 3 games to the Seattle Mariners, who now are in first place in the AL West because the Rangers cannot take care of business against the not fighting West Sacramento, Yolo County C's, F's, whatever the heck they are. This was just, you cannot script a more infuriating loss. You really can't. You have the combination of Jacob deGrom's going, so you should win this game. The offense got 3 home runs. You should win this game. The entire good side of this bullpen pitched. You should win those games. It is a West Coast game. It is a divisional game. You are up late. You wake up the next morning just incredibly grumpy on the wrong side of the bed. I mean, not only that, you also had a lead and you lose it with defensive incompetence in the worst possible way. That is the trifecta, the holy grail of horrific, annoying baseball losses that just drive everyone up a freaking wall. But this was just an inexcusable type of a loss, and Leody Taveras should not be starting today. He should not be starting tomorrow. I don't know where Leody Taveras goes from here, because this kind of a thing is just, it keeps happening. It's not just this one play. I have been staunchly defending Leody Taveras because I thought he got more grief than he deserved. But in plays like this, after this season, he's getting all the grief he deserves, and maybe even then some. I thought that being a World Series champion would shield any play with the Texas Rangers, would shield them from any more discouragement or any amount of grief after what they did in 2023. But with Leo Tavares keeping on making plays like this or not making plays that he should, it kind of leaves me at the end of my rope to defend him because he cannot and will not defend himself or defend on the baseball field. This show is brought to you by Amazon Fire TV. Did you know your Fire TV is also an Xbox? Turn any TV into your gaming and entertainment hub with Fire TV 4K stick devices. No console required. Just grab your paired controller, subscribe, or sign into Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with EA Play included, and you're ready to play. Dive into hundreds of premium titles from EA Sports College Football 25 to Call of Duty, Black Ops 6, and Avowed. As easily as you stream your favorite shows, it's gaming made simple, and it's all on your Fire TV. With 4K streaming, watch more than 1.5 million movies and TV episodes from your favorite subscribed services like Netflix, Prime Video, Disney Plus, Max, and more. Play high-quality Xbox games at a fraction of the cost of a console. If you already have a console, a Fire TV Stick 4K device is more affordable and easy to travel with, so you can take where your kids' games go and just plug it in wherever you are. So head to Amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On to get started. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription and compatible controller required. Available on select devices, including Fire TV Stick 4K 2nd Gen, Fire TV Stick 4K Max 1st and 2nd Gen, and Fire TV Cube 3rd Gen. Shout out to the everydayers for making Locked On Rangers your first listen every single day after every single game. You got Jeff Biggs with you, the Locked On Rangers postcast. Go check out his incredible work. I'm sure last night was a bit of a struggle, but 162, he is there for you every single game. I am there for you every single day, Monday through Friday. So I'll be back on Monday, hopefully talking about a less infuriating series in the Bay Area, the actual Bay Area, not just Bay adjacent. But I want to look at these Rangers home runs. The Rangers have done a decent job of hitting home runs as a team. 30 home runs as a team in 25 games. Not bad. But it feels like every single home run the Rangers have is a solo shot. So I went and looked it up. And, well, of the Rangers' 30 home runs, 22 of them are solo shots. That is more than 2/3 of the home runs are solo shots. I don't know if that's the Rangers not being able to hit home runs with a runner on base, or maybe just there's nobody on base because the Rangers have a 278 on base percentage as a team. They're hitting 222 as a team. So maybe that's why the Rangers aren't hitting home runs with people on base, because nobody's on base to begin with. I mean, oh my goodness. And this Rangers pitching staff, for the most part, has done their job. The Rangers have asked them to be a little bit more than perfect at times, and this offense has not really given them any cushion, and that has led to some of these close losses. The Rangers were doing really, really well in one-run games, but have lost their last two. When you ask the bullpen to be perfect, sometimes it's just too much to ask for this pen, and this rotation has done a good job for the most part, but it has been incredibly banged up, and right now the Rangers have 4 different starting pitchers on the IL. That's right, 4 starting pitchers on the IL. Now, one of them will be back this weekend in Jack Leiter, or he will be back on Monday, so within the week. But Kumar Rocker has been placed on the 15-day IL with a right shoulder impingement, which hopefully is just going to cause him to miss about 10 days of what Bruce Bochy said would just be about a start, but the Rangers don't want to be shorthanded during that time. Maybe that was what led to his poor start against the non-Oakland somewhat athletics in yesterday's game, or Tuesday's game, Wednesday's game, whatever day's game. I've been so sleep deprived with these grumpy West Coast losses that I've forgotten what day it is. But Bochy said that maybe that played a part, but Rocker didn't say anything about it right after the game. So he is going to go on the IL. The Rangers will have 4 starting pitchers on the IL, and all 5 of their top 5 pitching prospects are on the IL. All 5 before the season. No matter who you ask, these were the top 5 in some order. Kumar Rocker, Jack Leiter, Alejandro Rosario, Winston Santos, and Emiliano Teodo. All 5 for 5 on the IL right now. Why not? Why not? Because things are going so great. But, thankfully, It's not anything too serious. When you hear shoulder, you freak out immediately because that is something that Rocker has dealt with. That was something that he got surgery on. That is the reason why the Mets passed on drafting him. So anything flaring up at that shoulder, immediate red flag in my mind of, okay, oh boy, we got to take that extra cautiously, extra seriously, and hopefully it is just that 10 days where he will start throwing again. He will be on the IL for 15 days. So in that span, the Rangers were about to have to make a decision between Kumar Rocker or Patrick Corbin in their rotation. It seems like they have bought themselves a little bit of time, not in the way that they would have wanted with another injury, but alas, that is going to be the case. So the Rangers rotation will be Jack Leiter inserted in for Kumar Rocker, and Rocker gets some time to hopefully just reset and figure out how to be a little bit more consistent. That has been part of the problem with him. There's just consistency in the mechanic, consistency in the pitch selection. Maybe he can get a little bit more confidence in that curveball. I really, really like what he was doing with that curveball when it was working in spring training, especially that last spring training start. I really thought that, hey, this is a real fix for him. If he can get a feel for that curveball, have the feel for that and the slider, and not just completely abandon the curveball whenever the slider's working, I think those two could work in tandem very, very well. Also, if he can just start trusting that sinker, get a better feel for the changeup. I don't know that he necessarily needs the cutter if he can get that feel for the changeup, but just trusting those pitches more, trusting that he can throw more than just two different pitches, because in his last start, part of the reason that I think the A's hitters were all over that slider and all over that four-seam fastball is because he was becoming basically a two-pitch pitcher. And unless basically at times a one-pitch pitcher, is just the slider that it felt like he was trusting at times. And then he started trusting the four-seam fastball, which is not a great pitch. And that's not ideal. The slider's a great pitch, but he was trusting it. It felt like a bit too much. It was kind of like a Jack Leiter with his four-seam fastball last year. Like it's a good pitch. But if big leaguers know it's coming and they know it's the only thing that you trust, they can sit on it and tee off of it, no matter how good it is, unless you're Mariano Rivera's cutter. That's the one pitch that everybody knew was coming, but no one could do anything with. Maybe a little bit of Kershaw's slider, but even then, Kershaw still had other pitches that he could go to with the curveball and the fastball and occasionally other things. But still, I think that Rocker still needs some refinement. Maybe this time on the IL can do a similar thing for him like it did for Wyatt Langford last year. Langford had some flashes of brilliance before that IL stint with the hamstring strain last year. And then once he came back, he had a great month of June. Then tapered off a little bit in July and early August, and then turned it right back on in the best possible way, and has not turned it off ever since, because Langford had himself a great night last night. But still, I think that Rocker could use a little bit more refinement and maybe a little bit extra time besides the 15 days. Maybe he spends a little bit more time on an extended rehab just to kind of get a little bit better of a feel for the command and the pitch count and the pitch usage and things like that. Because last year, whenever he came up to the big leagues, there was a reason that he came up so quickly. There was nothing more for him to learn, nothing more that he could have gained by dominating AAA hitters. His mechanics looked in sync, his pitch mix looked good, and he needed to learn how to attack big league hitters. And I think that that's changed a little bit now. Now there are some things that he could benefit from in being in the minor leagues for a little bit. That doesn't mean that he's washed, doesn't mean that he's bad, doesn't mean that he isn't going to figure it out again. It's just that now he's seen some big league hitters. He's gone through and attacked, figured out how to game plan against big league hitters, to go through a big league order multiple times through, and sometimes a third time through. And he's done it with success. He's also done it with some failures. And he can say, okay, these are the things that I need to work on. He has some things that, he could get better at, of just, attacking minor league lineups. His stuff is better than minor leaguers are going to do anything with. They aren't going to cause him trouble on that slider. He is going to be able to, go with, 60% slider usage against minor league hitters and have success. But you can't do that against big league hitters. You can't do that in the same way against big leaguers who have seen you once. They've seen you once or twice they figure things out, and you got to figure out multiple different ways to attack them. So maybe some time fine tuning in AAA could be the best thing for Kumar Rocker in the long term, and heck, even in the short term. And it could be the best thing for this Rangers rotation, this Rangers team that doesn't have time for prospects to figure it out at the big league level. That this is not the stage where the Rangers are in right now. They are in the win now stage. If you aren't winning, if you aren't the best option to win every fifth day, then you shouldn't be in this rotation. That's just where the Rangers are in their competitive cycle. And as much as I love Kumar Rocker, as much as I think he's got great upside, the same thing for Jack Leiter. If Leiter starts to back up as well, then the Rangers will need to figure out something else to do with their rotation. Hopefully, at some point soon, they can start to get some more updates about knowing when John Gray and when Cody Bradford will be back and ready to be parts of this rotation. But for now, they're going to need to rely on Patrick Corbin. He's done a good enough job to be, your fourth or fifth starter. And hopefully Jack Leiter can come back and look exactly like he looked beforehand. And things can just keep on being good, at least on this pitching front for this Rangers squad. But hitting wise, it has been absolutely brutal. And there might be one guy who had a great game that it might be time to start thinking about seeing him again at the big level. I'll tell you who that is. And we're talking about some more prospects who had a great night last night, because I don't want to end a Friday show on a bad note. Talk about all that and more right after this. Now, last night in AAA Round Rock, it was actually in Round Rock, Evan Carter hit his second home run of the season, a 3-run bomb, also stole a bag. He has been playing a lot more consistently. He is still trying to get that back injury, the recurring back injury, under control. The Rangers are trying to figure out a plan of attack for him, because it's not just mental, it is also the physical. They are trying to get that back condition to go into remission, trying to figure out how often they should play him, how often they should rest him, because once they get that into remission, I feel like we will see Evan Carter at the big league level soon. He has been on base in every single game so far this season. I know that there were a lot of people freaking out because of a 3-game stretch or so where Carter looked rough, which, grow up. It's baseball. Everyone has a horrible 3-game stretch, especially when you have a degenerative condition in your back. That makes it hard to swing the baseball back good. It makes it hard to play baseball. It makes it hard to play center field and things like that. But I feel like if the Rangers feel confident, if that Evan Carter's back condition is going into remission, that we will probably see him quickly. And I don't know what that means for Leo Tavares. If the Rangers would just straight up DFA him, if they would try and offload him, see if somebody wants him. He's capable of being an okay starter on a bad team. There are plenty of other teams that have a lot worse players that are starting. I feel like the Marlins could use him over a Derek Hill, or maybe the Rangers just straight up cut bait with him and just eat what they can of the cash, because this is just not a great spot for Leo Tavares, especially if Evan Carter is feeling better and you don't have to worry about him facing lefties. You can just have Kevin Pillar on the roster for exactly that, or just for giving Evan Carter the occasional day off, or just maybe give Dustin Harris some more starts in center field, because if he's going to be on this roster for an extended period of time, it does him no good to just be sitting there on the bench. I don't know exactly what the deal is there, what the rationale is there, why Dustin Harris is here if he's not going to play. But hey, that's why Bruce Bochy is the manager and not me. But it wasn't just Evan Carter having a great night last night. Sebastian Walcott clubbing his second home run of the season for Frisco. So far this season, he has done a really, really good job. He looked incredibly impressive. The game that I caught him last week out there in Frisco, he's already got 6 doubles in 17 games so far this season, a couple of home runs, 4 stolen bases, 12 walks to 20 strikeouts, an 846 OPS, a 392 on base percentage, though. In the games that I've seen him, he has been more than willing to work his walks. It seems like opposing pitchers are already just a little bit spooked by him. and how good he is. That is a great, great sign for him, and a great sign for Josh Stephen, who had a great game last night as well for the Frisco Rough Riders. He had 6 innings pitched. The Rough Riders shut out the Corpus Christi Hooks. 6 innings, 3 hits, no runs earned or otherwise, just 1 walk and 8 strikeouts. A great, great day for him. A great day for McGregor and Skylar Hales to get back on the right page. Skylar Hales has had a bit of a rough start to the season, a guy who I thought I was a little surprised that he started the year in Double A, but he has had some really, really rough games so far this season. He has a 9 ERA on the year. He has allowed a home run. He has allowed 3 walks in those 9 innings, and it's been a little bit of a struggle for him at times, but an inning with just 1 hit allowed and 3 strikeouts. With Travis McGregor, he looked exceptional last night. The 27-year-old right-handed pitcher threw 2 innings, allowed just 1 hit, 1 walk, and 5 strikeouts. Yeah, 5 out of his 6 outs were of the strikeout variety. That is a great, great night. 16 strikeouts as a pitching staff for the Frisco Rough Riders between the likes of Josh Stephen, Travis McGregor, and Skylar Hales. That is a great, great day for them, but not a great day at the major league level. Again, this was just absolutely infuriating, as infuriating of a loss as you can have at the big league level on any given day. Hopefully this weekend will go a little bit better. I mean, the Rangers don't get their opponent doesn't get any easier. In fact, it gets a lot harder. The Giants are a very, very good team this year. A 9:15 p.m. start. Nathan Eovaldi versus Justin Verlander. Hopefully teeing off against the old guy can get this offense going. I don't know. I'm just honestly feel like I'm grasping at straws every single game. It's like, hey, maybe this will get the offense going. Hey, no, maybe this will get the offense going. Oh, maybe this. I mean, the starters that they're facing, every single one so far this season has an ERA north of 4. Justin Verlander has a near 5.5 ERA, and then they face off against Robbie Ray versus Tyler Mahle. Hopefully that can be a great game offensively for the Rangers. Not that San Francisco is the most hitter-friendly ballpark, but when you have a terrible pitcher on the mound, and Ray has not been good this year, hopefully that can get them going. And then you have TBD versus Jordan Hicks on Sunday in the finale. TBD will either be Jack Leiter or it will be Patrick Corbin. I would lean more towards Patrick Corbin because the Rangers face off against the A's immediately following this series back home. So maybe you don't want to have Patrick Corbin going twice in the span of a week against the same team, a team that, did tee off on him just a little bit, but overall a commendable start with his 5 innings of 2-run ball. But Jordan Hicks has an ERA of 6.59. So if this can't get the Rangers offense going, I don't necessarily know what will. Also, somehow, even with all of these starters with terrible ERAs, the Giants are a very good team. They have the second best record, actually. Nope, the third best record in all of baseball. Somehow the Mets jumped the entire NL West that is just full of contenders. 17-9 record for the San Francisco Giants team because Jung Hoo Lee and the Hooligans have been making a big impact so far this year. It feels like everybody on this Giants roster has either been terrible or amazing because they have multiple different players with sub 500 OPSs, including their catcher, Patrick Bailey. I mean, everybody's WAR is just dramatic. Jung Hoo Lee has a 1.6 baseball reference WAR. In right field, Mike Yastrzemski has a 1.2 baseball reference WAR. Then they have Luis Matos, who is negative 0.6. Lamont Wade Jr., negative 0.6. Patrick Bailey, negative 0.3. And Willie Adames, their big star signing. They haven't been able to sign a big star player in so long. They finally got one, Willie Adames, and he's got a 543 OPS and a negative 0.7 baseball reference for because, sure, baseball is funny. They say, hey, you want your star signing? Here's your star signing. He's not going to play like a star. And that's just the way baseball goes sometimes. But Jung Hoo Lee has been incredible. Mike Yastrzemski has been incredible. Matt Chapman has been incredible for them as well. And Tyler Fitzgerald has been kind of a bit of a star. He's hitting over 300. He's been already nearly a one WAR player. This is a team that has figured a few things out. Maybe we'll see a little bit of old friend Sam Huff in a couple of his games. Actually, you look at every single starter in this rotation for the Giants outside of Logan Webb. Logan Webb has 6 starts. He's averaging 6 innings per start. He's striking out more batters than he's ever struck out before. He's got a 1.98 ERA. But everybody else in this rotation has an ERA north of 4. Robbie Ray, 4.07. Justin Verlander, 5.47. Landon Roop, 4.91. Jordan Hicks, 6.59. How is this team winning? I don't really understand it. I mean, their bullpen's been pretty darn good. Their offense has been inconsistent, but when it's working, it's really, really working. I don't know. Maybe the Rangers can just jump on these starters early. Just get something going with this offense, please. I'm tired of talking about this offense being terrible and the pitching staff being mostly good. At least give me something different to talk about on Monday. Please, Rangers. I'm begging you. And for the love of God, don't give us any more losses like this one last night, because I'm not sure how many more of them I can take waking up in just such an incredibly grumpy mood. Because last night, oof, that was a rough one. That's going to do it for today's show. Thank you all so much for listening and subscribing. And until next time, don't forget to enjoy baseball.